Well, good evening. It is Saturday night, October the 2nd. The year is 2021. And I guess that means it's time for yet another episode of the Ken and Glenn Show. And now, please welcome our host, Ken Walls.
Co-host. And Glenn Morshower.
I love that you threw that out there as an afterthought. Keep me in my place.
Oh, my God.
Hey, dude.
How's
Two
it
nights
going?
in a row.
Hey, I just got in for this from a wedding. I was the MC at the party afterwards.
And that explains why you're sporting your new wedding haircut. Dude,
I am. It's true.
That haircut is the finest presentation of Ken Walls. You're going to have to come up with the new middle name White. Ken White Walls. Because they have white-walled your head, dude. And you look so handsome.
Oh, thank you, dude.
There has not been a more handsome presentation of you since the day we met.
Wow.
This is it.
Wow.
This is it. Hey, ladies, and even you gentlemen, right? You dudes that are into dudes,
no.
Please drop a 1 if Ken is turning you on right now. Drop a 1. I'm going to wait and see. Hello, Scott Ricard.
Ricard is in the
Ernesto, my friend Ernesto Odell in Lubbock, Texas.
Oh, my God.
Bandy Archer, good evening to you. Sandy was first tonight.
Fuck.
Special acknowledgement. What was said?
Taiba laughs. She doesn't drop a 1. Ernest drops a lot of 1s.
Ernest is admitting that you are turning him on.
I am disturbed at the soul level.
Oh, well, we have a special guest that's coming our way.
No.
We do.
No.
We do.
Oh, my God, dude. Just forward the email I sent you.
Okay.
You guys, listen right now. Listen, if you've ever had the desire to share a stream out, you want to share this one because who he's talking about is going to blow your mind. And I'm talking superstar level, like superstar level. You need to make sure you share this out. Share it out to, I don't know, share it out to every freaking place you can.
Okay, what do I need to do to acquire our guest?
Go to the email I sent you.
Okay, and send it to this person?
Yes. And tell that person if they're on a computer to open it in Google Chrome. If they're on a phone, an iPhone, they can open it in Safari. I can also copy the link and send it to you in text message if you would rather send it that way.
Okay. Cool.
You let me know. Well, you know what? I'm just going to forward you the link in text and you can send it that way too.
Okay.
So listen, everybody, who Glenn is talking about is literally
this mystery person, Ken, just says, I'm on an iPad Safari.
Safari works. Yep.
Is that doable?
Yep.
Okay.
That's unbelievably cool. Share this out, guys. Please share it out. This is going to blow your mind.
Well,
Holy
it's
crap.
Saturday night, and big things happen on Saturdays, Ken.
And hey, I am just so glad that we dressed up for it, man.
Well, here's the thing. This falls under the heading, and now for whatever reason I've lost picture. Where are you?
I see you.
There you are. Okay.
Okay,
So
found it.
under the heading of "Build It and They Will Come," this, and I'm not joking about this. Just like, okay, you got your new haircut, right? You're showing off your handsome face to the world, and we dressed up on a Saturday night, and now
Look what
we
Sandy
understand
says.
what happens. Okay, so let me forward this email to my buddy.
You've got his email address.
Of course,
yeah.
I won't be announcing that live. Hold on one second.
So listen, Glenn is we have a very incredibly special guest coming on that you guys you don't want to miss. You do not want to miss this one, and you want to make sure, please, I'm begging you to share this out. If you can share it to groups, that's going to be spectacular. It is, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. Share it out. Share it out. Christopher Voss says, I'm going upstairs to change my clothes. The barber is closed. Dang it.
We are almost ready to rock here. We'll get back into conversation. We're just taking care of a little business. And I believe this will do the trick.
Wow. One of the cool things about having a magic mouse is it just randomly does whatever it wants. So it kicked me out of the studio. Sandy shared it. Theodora. See, I didn't do it, Theodora. I didn't do it. Shared it. Thank you. The only person that gave me ones are two dudes.
Okay. So I just forwarded it. And
it's because I'm married.
I'm waiting for confirmation. But I do want to let you know that you are looking handsome, incredibly so, and you're looking well, which makes my day. More than makes my day, it makes my life, Ken. I
feel so much more well.
Yeah, well, and there are a lot of people excited that you're back, and so this is beautiful.
I am sending somebody a text saying, hey.
I may just can you text me the link, Ken, and I'll do it that way?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay, hold on.
Just hold on, just press and hold on it, and then
I got it. I know how to do it.
Okay, you know how to do that.
And I just copy it.
Yep, and then go to him.
Right. Okay.
So we have an audience patiently waiting. So thank you.
So how was your day, bud? I just forwarded it, so we should have our surprise guest here any moment. And once our guest shows up, then I will let our pages know, our other group.
Oh.
In fact, did you forward that to them?
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, if you want to forward to the extra mile, that'd be awesome.
Should I put the info?
You can do that.
Really?
Sure, because I've had a confirmation. So I don't tease things that aren't so, and there's no one on the planet whose word is
should I when the guest arrives, should I move his square to the top?
Well, you've just narrowed it down with the gender, Ken. I want to let you know that. You've just narrowed it down.
I did that. You actually did that. You said my bud.
Well, I have female buds. Michelle Getsky is a female bud.
That's true.
Catherine Franco is a female bud. Certainly. What about Yasmin? I mean, Yasmin is like the bud of buds.
But maybe this person, maybe they don't identify with that pronoun.
Got it on the phone through text, but need it on the iPad through email. All right, let's try it again. We're going to
Forward.
make it happen. It's all worth it in the end, because there's something very special about waiting. Nobody wants to walk in the front door of a restaurant and have them hand you the food, right? We need a little bit of foreplay here. Don't we? Am I wrong?
That's just funny the way that you say this. You say it. Let me hang on. So we cannot mention who it is. It's a big surprise. Let's see. Okay, so okay, here we go. Share to a group. Oh, for the love of gosh. Let's see. Hang on. Everybody that's watching and just
This is
wondering
very
what
exciting television.
it is.
Bordering mesmerizing in my view.
So
right. I'm going to try this again to my brother here.
Oh, you gave it away right there.
No, I didn't. I said my brother. You've already identified that it was male.
Oh, okay. Well, so yes. Okay, so I have shared it to both of the Extra Mile acting workshops. Okay, so let me look at, here we go. We have, Theodora says, this is what you're teaching us not to do on a live. Okay, but here's the thing, Theodora. When you have somebody on Glenn Moorshower's level on your live stream with you, and then you're bringing on somebody that is a also a really ginormous superstar, it's okay to
no, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's not only okay, it's beautiful. And here's something else, Ken. This is proof that we are heavily committed to spontaneity.
Big time.
I mean, we could have worked this out hours ago, even a day ago, and done a lot of publicity and all that.
Hey, well, our guest is waiting in the green room.
Oh, our guest is here. All right. Well, let me be the one to announce it. Did you send the announcement to the Extra Mile page?
I did. Go ahead and announce it.
So fasten your seatbelts, kids, because you know that here on the Ken and Glenn show, we always deliver. And even though Ken is my baby brother, he gets top billing because he is the superstar of the internet. He is the original finder of all human purpose, really. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. All courtesy of Ken Walls. All right, so 4 1/3 seasons ago, this goes back 4 years ago, I was added to the cast of a show that was underway, did not do the pilot, a show that was underway for Fox Television called The Resident. And the star of that show, who I am blessed to be the father of, not in real life, I did not father him, not to my knowledge anyway, but I guess anything's possible. We look remarkably similar, by the way, but my son on the show is a very handsome, very talented, the one, the only, the inimitable Matt Zuckery, and Matt Zuckery is here with us tonight.
Matt, welcome, man.
Look at him.
Wow.
Look at him with his ball cap going on.
What the hell is this show?
Hey, man, we've been doing this.
What the hell did I agree to here?
We have been doing this show for 1.5 years. We started it up as soon as COVID hit because we knew that people needed to be entertained and they needed to connect, and it's been just beautiful. We've had a lot of people on, but you know, this to me is a huge week for the show. And I thought, I'm going to give Matt a holler and just see what he's up to.
No, well, Ken, good to see you. You're looking great. Much better than the last time I saw you.
Way better, man. Thank you for the
Good.
wonderful message in the hospital, man. Jeez. Yeah, that was fun.
My pleasure.
So I
My
know
pleasure.
we can't tease it. We can't talk about exactly what's going on. Although, frankly, all anyone has to do is go on the internet and they see all sorts of evidence. But we do know this much: we can let you guys know that our show has a major episode coming up this Tuesday night at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And if you are just now coming aboard, if there are any newbies in the audience tonight, then go back and do some mad viewing on Hulu or Fox.com and get aboard so that you can be ready and sort of blend right into the developments. Last year, we had Conrad and Nick got married. And because my son was taught what was appropriate to teach regarding sex, he was successful in becoming a father.
This is true.
He said this is true.
But I have to tell you, Matt is the reason that the show, and I'm now talking about behind the scenes, that the show operates in the peaceful, relaxed, connected way that it does. And that's not me saying nice things just for the sake of it or because it feels like it's the smart thing to say. Certainly Ken, well, actually, Matt's known me longer than Ken. Matt's known me for 4+ years, and Ken and I have known each other for a year and a half. But, I've been around a long time. I'm an old fart at this business, and I've been on many different series. But your number one, which is what Matt is called, a little inside scoop, the number one, the numeral associated with your name on the call sheet, Matt is number one. And who your number ones and twos are, they really determine the spirit that prevails on the show. So it's sort of like who they are is how it goes. I'll say that again. Who they are is how it goes. So if they are happy people, if they are balanced people, if they are great people, then it matters to them that becomes the environment that we play in. And there are a lot of long hours put in on a series, lots of long hours. Anyway, I'm going to let Matt talk to you about that. And Matt, our topic tonight is whatever you want to talk about. Well, we always narrow it down to that.
Well, we narrowed it down to Billy Joel theme. I mean, the title is It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in.
And so we're doing that. But yeah,
that's literally the title.
Well, I mean, how's the season been going thus far for you? I know, but the audience doesn't know. We are in season 5. And how are you holding up? Because I know that there is no one who puts in more hours on the show than you in terms of the cast. Obviously, the crew is there all day, every day without a break.
I want to announce that the verdict is in. I just put it up on the screen.
You see the screen there, Matt?
Matt is apparently they've ruled, and he's cute. They say so.
You see that? So you know what? Let's do. Hey, Matt, would this be okay with you? What if we play Ask Matt tonight?
Sure.
What if we play Ask Matt, and our crowd can just ask you some questions? They can get to know you personally. So, hey, kids, this is your time. Don't be bashful. We've got a lot of regulars that watch our show. So if you've got a question for Matt, ask it.
My twin nieces, who are your biggest fans, like, remember before you became a celebrity, you had that one celebrity that was if it could ever happen.
This got awkward very quickly. Yeah,
I'm kidding. So
it doesn't take Ken long to disturb our visitors.
I feel like I didn't know I was coming out of the show with 2 dates. I don't know how old they are, but
yeah, they're very young. They're very young.
That's beautiful. That's so sweet. Glenn did tell me that, and I was planning on doing a video for them, but now we have this moment together. So the
That's
spontaneous moment together.
that's so awesome. Yeah. Ashley and Emma are gonna say hi to you. They already have. So there's my sister-in-law. But anyway, yeah, let's everybody, if you have a question, here, somebody has a
Matt, I
question.
sent you a text, bud.
Matt, where are you?
Yeah, it looks like I'm in the a white void right now, right? With this, you can clearly see I have not prepared at all for this moment together. You guys have nice, beautiful backgrounds with your books and awards and accomplishment. I have a white wall with maybe a light on. That's where I am. I'm in Atlanta filming the show. We are on episode 7 right now. And to answer your question, Glenn, this season's been really hard. It's probably been the hardest season for me since season 1, just given the content of it and the hours and the changes. It's been really rewarding, but also incredibly difficult. So this has been a hard one.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But you know what?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. You're up for it. You're up for it. And
Yes.
and I want to take it a step further. The audience is up for you being up for it, meaning they enjoy watching us stretch. I know that's a big ask, but at the end of the day, I do know that it's respected when people realize that these actors are not being given material that they can just phone in, but that they've really got to dig deep. And so you are leaned on heavily to lift those words off the page and make a difference in the hearts and minds of viewers worldwide. And we have a bunch of them, several million people that watch the
Certainly.
show.
Yeah, certainly episode 3 that's coming up on Tuesday night is one of the most important episodes, if not the most important episode in our series. So, uh, that it's the big one that hopefully resonates with the audience. That's my wish and that's my hope. And certainly I know that collectively we all, Glenn, you were there. Collectively, we all put everything into it. You were talking about in terms of the atmosphere. For me, I'm always trying to make it as open, as positive, as collaborative, as welcoming as possible, just to enjoy it for one, and to show kindness and goodness to each other, but also that generates hopefully the best work possible. So the mood on set for episode 3 this season was very somber, very quiet, very different than any other episode we've ever done. The crew was amazing in terms of just, again, the quiet and the peace and trying to access the moments that were necessary to provide what we hope is a an episode that fans will enjoy, especially fans who have seen the episodes from the beginning and have been following these characters and have invested in these characters. Hopefully, we delivered for them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's powerful. And since I was right there at ground zero to breathe in the mood that week, I'm well aware of what you're referring to. Ken, can we highlight some comments or questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Again, guys, don't be bashful because I don't know how long Matt has, but while he's here, let him reach out to you.
What's your favorite thing about working on The Resident?
It's the people. I mean, we've got Glenn right here. I mean, he texted me what 30 minutes ago and asked if I would be available and popped right on. And that's because I care about him so much. And we have had
Thank you, buddy.
yeah, and it's all the people associated and connected with the show. Um, whenever the show is done, Glenn and I are going to carry on our friendship after that. So it's really my most favorite thing about the Resident the people that I'm fortunate enough to work with and learn from. Not only Glenn and I are not only friends, but I've learned from him as an actor. Um, been a part of his acting classes. So there's a real bond there that I'm incredibly grateful for with the people associated with the resident, with Glenn being right there at the top, and of course Emily. In terms of speaking of episode three, is missed, and so she's certainly in my mind as we approach Tuesday night for sure as well. Everybody.
Yeah.
But you've got Bruce, you've got Manish, you've got Malcolm, you've got Jane, you got Anuja, you've got Jessica Lucas, you've got all the guest stars we've had, all the directors we've had, Rob Korn, you've got Amy, you've got Andrew. I could list the
Tasso
whole
Feldman,
Tasso. You got Denitra,
Jessica.
Jessica. Exactly. You got the whole team there. It takes hundreds and hundreds of people to make a television show, and you create a bond and a friendship and a connection with those individuals that lasts long beyond when the show's finished. So my most favorite thing about The Resident is the people and our team of great people that we have.
I'm sitting here thinking because I don't know the business side of it. I know a little bit because Glenn has enlightened me on a lot of things. But so you have an agent, and did somebody like contact you in the beginning, back before The Resident came about? Were you one of the first people they contacted, and they said, "Hey, we have this idea. We'd like to make you the resident"? I mean, how did that work? I'm curious.
That's a
No,
good question, Tim.
on this particular, yeah, no, I have an agent and a manager. I wasn't actually they had seen a bunch of people for Conrad before I came in and auditioned for it. So that's kind of how it shook out for this one. I was actually was sent the pilot by my agent and manager. Um, and I was watching actually a TV show that Bruce was in at the same time, and Bruce was attached. Bruce Greenwood, he was attached to the pilot before I became a part of it, and that was a little bit of kismet there. That I was watching a television show that Bruce was on, and then here was this pilot that came to me that Bruce was in and attached to. So that was kind of the first sign, and then I read it and loved the character, and I really loved. I felt like it was timely and important in terms of talking about the healthcare system in a very specific way. Our show is a medical show, but we talk about the system in a very specific way and try to bring to light certain issues within the system. And I felt like that was very timely, let alone before we would go into never knowing we would go into a pandemic and feeling like it was even more timely in terms of the questions and answers that are really universal, these life and death questions about health that we all have. And I felt like the show could connect a lot of people because of those questions that we all go through in terms of those questions of life and death. And I'd also had 2 years. We started the show in 2017, and in 2015, I had two close friends, loved ones pass away. And so
Mhm.
those questions were very prevalent in my mind at that time. So I felt like there was a lot of overlapping things that I felt would interconnect a lot of individuals. And I was hopeful I could make an impact as the show were to go in terms of asking those important life questions. And so that's what drew me into the show. And I auditioned for it, and it went my way, and here we are 70 plus episodes later, with the show still continuing on, and hopefully it has made a positive impact on people's lives.
I told Glenn that I'm not much of a hospital show guy. Like I tried to get in. What was the one that you did? I think you did a couple of, Glenn. The hospital show,
Oh yeah,
Seattle.
I've made the tour. I mean, I date all the way back to ER. I did. I didn't do Saint Elsewhere. I certainly did. There was one recently called oh
The
my
one in
god,
Seattle. The one
yeah, Grey's Anatomy. I did Grey's
Grace.
Anatomy, and there was
Yeah.
another one called Code Black.
Yeah.
Remember Code Black, which was on CBS just a
Mhm.
couple of years ago,
Yeah.
right before The Resident. So I've done the I'm a either a patient or a pissed off husband of a patient, and now it's time to have offspring that is the cool dude at the hospital.
Yeah. I just well, so my point is I tried Grays and I got through a couple of seasons. I was like, I can't. I just can't. I can't. The Resident, man, I am like, and maybe it has something to do with Glenn. But I am so like Glenn, you weren't even in was it episode 1 or 2 or
I wasn't in the
in
pilot. I didn't join the show until the fifth episode.
no, I mean this season. You weren't in
I was.
episode
I
2.
did one, and then
That's right.
I didn't do two, and I'm doing this coming Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah. So,
No.
but episode 2 of this season, I it's the only, and this is it's gonna make me sound like a sissy. It's the only time that I teared up and literally I didn't start full on bawling but I teared up and
Ken,
it was
Ken,
when
it's okay to cry.
I know, I know,
I mean,
I
just
know.
to be clear here, it doesn't mean you're a puss.
I,
Okay,
I get it.
take it easy.
I know, I know.
You're
I
not
know.
one of these people who was raised to believe that real men don't cry. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So but and why can I never remember his real name? I always remember him as Theo.
Malcolm.
You're talking
Malcolm.
about Malcolm
Malcolm.
Jamal Warner.
If he
Yeah.
ever sees this,
Amazing guy,
Oh,
amazing actor, amazing human being. Grateful to know him. He's a
oh,
very, very special person.
he's so talented, and the
He
the
is.
confrontation he had with the surgeon that had the child at 13. I don't remember her name. But
Jessica
that
Lucas.
yeah, that
Jessica
scene.
Lucas. She's great. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they killed it.
it was incredible.
Maybe
They did.
killed is not the best word to use for a hospital drama, but they certainly
They
did an
did.
admirable job. Is what I'm
They
saying.
did.
By the way, this just in:
They're
Craig
amazing.
Oswald says I cry all of the time. Ken, Craig
Well,
Oswald wants you to know that he cries all the time.
well, Craig, I love Craig. I love Craig.
So, hey, let's get some more questions from Matt.
Yeah, I had him. Hang on. So another one is
Someone was asking about all the guest stars that came our way from Gilmore Girls.
how long have you been acting? Is another one.
I've been acting for 22 years.
Come on with it.
Wow.
22 years. Yes.
Wow.
Moved
22
to LA
years.
moved to LA in 1999. So 22 years.
Whew.
Is brandy a reasonable respite during COVID recovery?
Is that asking me because I'm a doctor on a television show?
Hey, no medical questions. No medical questions because Matt gets stopped on the street regularly because people really do buy into the belief that he's a doctor, and they're like, Matt, I got this little cough thing I'm dealing with. What should I do?
Yeah.
And he's a real sport about it, but it is so interesting, isn't it?
Oh my God.
How people do feel that it's real, and they see you through the lens of being a doctor.
That's hilarious.
I hope so. I have learned quite a bit. But I won't give any advice. Is there any similarities you think you share with Conrad? Um, I mean, it's very interesting in terms of the fact that in a lot of ways I'm so invested in who the character is. I feel like the things he's experienced, and Glenn, I'm sure you'd say the same. You experience the things that your characters go through. So again, as I go back to and say the season's been very hard for me, my character has gone through a lot of difficult and dark issues, and you have to access those places within yourself to make those moments authentic. So there's definitely quite a bit of overlap. Matt informs the character of Conrad, and Conrad informs Matt. And in this particular season, the beginning of this season, I had to go to certain places personally that were incredibly difficult, and so Matt was kind of informing Conrad in that way, and I was forced to go to those places because of the character. So there is quite a bit of overlap, and Glenn, I'm sure you feel the same.
I do. I do indeed.
Wow.
Highlight some more questions, Keno.
Yeah, I've got one I found. Hang on, where did it go?
You know, it's interesting. I obviously I've been in front of the camera for a long time. Life has been very generous to me. The industry has been. I mean, it's not just the industry. My life has been generous. I'm grateful to have been dancing on the earth with the same partner in my life for 44 years. Married for 42. She's been with me for almost every inch of my acting journey. I started my first paycheck as an actor was in 1975. So we're talking about 46 and a half years ago. In March, it'll be 47 years. And Carolyn and I got together in 1978. So she's been with me for almost the entire thing. And if you're doing well, then people are drawn to that. But now that I'm playing a billionaire, I have more requests from people on the street to help them start up companies and shit, which is
Nice.
disturbing.
I think
I mean, I'm just,
Glenn, you could do anything. You could do anything. So you could
buddy,
start a
I'm just
company for
trying to get a
somebody.
friggin'
I
Jersey
believe in
Mike.
you.
I'm trying to get a friggin' Jersey Mike sandwich. And some guy's like, hey, you want to help us with a new startup company we're working on? I'm like, dude, I just want
I
to.
love it. Why not? Why not?
My niece has a
Um,
question for you, Matt.
yes. What was your favorite thing from working on Gilmore Girls? Um, for me, that was really I kind of look at that as my first job. So that was about
Really?
learning. I mean, I had jobs before that, but in terms of I was on it for 3 seasons. It was my training ground, my first big job. So it was, in terms of learning the craft, I consider it basically my first job of trying to hit my mark, find my light, breaking down the material, everything like that. So my favorite thing about it was it just really felt like a start for me in terms of the publicity that I had because of that show. It really, in a lot of ways, is what helped me move my career forward. So that's my favorite thing about the show is it will always be thought of fondly for me in terms of the beginnings of my career. You only have really one beginning, and it's precious. And so for me, that show is very precious to me because I look at it as my start, even though I had been
Wow.
acting for about let's see, other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, about 6 years before I got that show. But that was for me felt like the beginning of something moving forward. So it's very precious to me because of that.
Wow. I've watched you in The Resident, and I've asked Glenn, I'm like, so you guys like really have to memorize all those lines? Like you have to commit those to memory? Like,
Yeah, we had a word for it in the 60s, man. It was called duh.
well, I thought maybe somebody was standing there with cue cards, like hints, like, hey,
Wait a
this is
minute.
what's going.
Wait. Time out. Let me show you why that strategy wouldn't work. I'm going to do a moment. I'm going to do a spontaneous, expressive moment with Matt right now. Watch this. And this
Okay.
is what it looks like with cue cards. Conrad, I don't know how to tell you this, but I love you. See, that's what cue card acting looks like.
Oh my
Right?
God.
Yeah, I think no, I think I wish we had cue cards. I wish I wouldn't have to memorize it. But I would say that it's it's deeper than that, and in terms of, yes, there's the basic fundamental of having to know your lines or memorize your lines. But Glenn, you were talking about that um, in terms of
in
when I
class?
saw you when I saw you recently. Actually, you were talking
No.
about the different levels of a feeler, a reader.
Oh, you remember? Yeah. So
Yeah, that was really interesting.
there's a reader, a speaker, an actor, and a feeler. A feeler being the
Yeah, and so
highest level.
you can speak to that, Glenn, because I think it's appropriate to think. Yes,
All
of
right.
course, we have to memorize lines, know our lines, but just say this before Glenn, you go ahead. But even with the medical, it's not just the medical terms. I have to know if there's a medical term. Okay, if this is having to do with the heart, then I have to see those images. I have to look and see what's exactly going on so I can have the visualization when I'm saying it. And I have to know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of the medical aspect. So it's, and then Glenn, you can build off of that just in terms of, yes, you have to know your lines, but in terms of the intrinsic nature of trying to make it authentic, believable, and spontaneous is takes so much time and effort to do what Glenn you're talking about. I'd love to hear you say that again in terms of
Yeah.
what you told me
Well,
I'm
a
here
happy
couple weeks
to.
ago.
So,
it,
Ken,
it,
let me address this. In the when the script is first sent to you, what we have is a fantasy that exists as words on a page. And we are the bridge that is utilized, meaning actors are the bridge that is utilized to lift those words off of the page and convert them into actual reality to be influencing the hearts and minds of audience members worldwide. That's what we do.
yeah.
And it's a delicate balance because it starts out being words. Now, your relationship with the words at that point means you are simply a reader. And my wife's gonna get very excited that you're on right now, Matt, because she's been away. She went out and grabbed some dinner for us and just walked in the door. I can hear the bell go off. My cats go scrambling to the front door. So the reader means that all you have going is words and you're still reading them off of a page. Then there's the speaker, and the speaker is not enough because now you merely have the words committed to memory, but there's still no relationship, which means the words are memorized here, but they are not metabolized within you. So they've not yet become a part of you. Now we continue up the ladder of evolution, the evolutionary ladder of consciousness for the actor, and we get to the actor version. And the actor version is where now we begin to put condiments on the hamburger here. We begin to add our own special sauce, and sometimes these moments can be overly done. This is where we get the word performance, where
Mm,
something is performed. But to me, the highest level, which is when you are in oneness, and first of all, these words are no longer the writers. I mean, we understand intellectually that they began as the writer's words and an idea, even which preceded the words. It started as an idea and it wound up being expressed as words on a page. And yes, they belong to the writer. But if we haven't made that gear shift from belonging to the writer, it will not work. The scene cannot work as long as the words emanate from the writer. Hopefully,
wow.
this makes sense to all of you, meaning that they have to have, here's the word, metabolized. And once those
Wow.
words have metabolized, they become a part of who it is we are. So that I'm saying, for example, I love you, son. If I'm saying that to Matt, that's not me saying, here's what the writers told me to say. That's Marshall telling Conrad, I love you, my dear son,
Wow.
because it emanates from me. It cannot emanate from the writer. It has to belong to you, or it can't be completely impactful for the audience. This
Uh,
is what it comes down to.
And
So it is true that acting is not pretending. When you're first getting into the business and you want to do dinner theater or whatever, you kind of play locally, then maybe you want to call it that. But
yeah.
once you're paid for a living, I will tell you, and I know Matt will back me up on this, They are not paying you to pretend. And I'll promise you, if you are a pretender, they will fire your ass. They're not paying you to pretend. They're paying you to live as.
Wow.
To live as. This is why, Matt has far more medical jargon than I don't have basically any, because that's not really my position in the hospital to understand the medical side of things. But he is saddled up weekly with massive medical jargon. And again, these words must not only be said and pronounced correctly, but that's only the beginning. They have to be metabolized so that Matt knows exactly what he's talking about. And to come up with a particular diagnosis needs to really be his diagnosis, not the writer's. It has to be Conrad Hawkins' diagnosis, which is based on all of the years he spent studying in school, training for it. And anything less than that won't do. And what happens is those people are thanked and sent packing. And then they choose people like Matt to actually be the one to carry the show. So there's a really thorough
and Glenn, like, yeah, and Glenn, that's all the actor pieces of that. But as an audience member, you don't need to think about any of that or know any of that. You just see something and it feels real or it doesn't.
Yep.
And that's the magic trick. And I always say, when you're a professional, it's you haven't had enough sleep, you haven't had the material long enough, the words are difficult, you're going through personal stuff, whatever it may be. But as a professional, between action and cut, your job is to make whatever is happening within the circumstances and relationships of the scene, like Glenn was saying, come to life. And as an audience member, you shouldn't have to think about any of that stuff. What you should be able to connect to. Ken, you enjoyed that scene between Malcolm and Jessica because it felt like it was actually happening. It was real. It was connecting to you, made you think, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to see as an audience member whether it feels real or it doesn't, and that's what you'll tune in to watch, or turn the channel and turn it off if it's not connecting with you for any reason.
Well, and I sit there and I was watching. I don't know if it was episode 2 of this season, or I don't remember. But there was a girl with a heart problem, and her dad had a heart problem too that had brought her in. But you come in. Well, episode 1, okay. Yeah. So you come in and you call for so many cc's of Halprin, and you start. I was just on Halprin in the hospital, right? So it made me go, wait a minute. So I'm thinking, like, you name off Halprin, you name off, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different things, and they're very technical words, and I'm thinking, holy shit, how did he do that? Like, he just rattled off, like, and you were the character, like you were, so it's just impressive as hell to see you do that. And I've said this to Glenn, it's impressive to see him or anybody professional do that, where it's like you don't miss a beat, man. You got it down from a very technical point to also being in the character at the same time. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Wow.
But
No, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you so much. And that's just a lot of, especially for just the medical terms, just a lot of time goes into trying to make that fly like that. So thank you for that compliment. I really appreciate it.
So you understand that Matt's workday doesn't end when he gets home.
Right.
That's the end of part 1 of the workday.
Yeah.
And now, he grabs a bath or a shower and some dinner, and then sits down to spend the rest of his evening readying himself for the next day, which is overwhelming. But if he doesn't do that, and the reality is, if he isn't short slept to an extent, then he's not going to be ready the next day.
Right.
Because that prep is crucial, because when we do the prep, it tends to go, not always, but it tends to go like a hot knife through butter, which is exactly what we want. We want the work to happen with relative ease, because there isn't a struggle. But in order to do that, there's a tremendous amount of sacrifice. It shows up in terms of time. It shows up in relationships. People understand that your partner is the show, that your show is the significant other. And Matt's certainly devoted at that level. I want to answer Athena's question. Ken, can you scroll for Athena?
I saw her earlier. Do
See
you
her? I
ever
mean, there are a few. We've got questions coming in from London.
this one? Do you ever hope the plot will go
Yeah,
a certain
there's one
direction?
for Athena.
I mean, so much of that is like what Glenn was saying. There's so many pieces to the puzzle, and the writers and producers on the show shape those outlines, and then I can kind of come in and fine tune Conrad's journey from the script process, and then of course the performance as well. So. In terms of hoping that the plot will go a certain way, I don't think about that because that's a piece for the writers and producers to shape the show in that way. But once the material comes to me, I feel like I can fine tune the material before we get on set and shoot, and then of course hone my performance in a certain way that feels right for what we're doing with a particular episode. So I don't try to hope for certain storylines just because I want to be surprised by what I would find from the writers and producers in terms of where we're going to take Conrad in specific seasons. Now, there are certain moments throughout the season that will be benchmark moments for Conrad that we will talk about. I will talk about with the producers. They're so kind to collaborate with me in a way of okay, here's where we're feeling Conrad's going to be for the first half of the season, and we talk about it and tweak that in the second half of the season or the first 6 episodes, or in the case of this season, really was for the first 3 episodes, and then episodes 4, 5, and 6 and 7 we had conversations about in terms of story in that way.
So, Matt, we don't have a network that's tapping our watch to wrap up, but traditionally at the 52-minute mark, I like to play a game called What Pisses Ken Off. And right now, I'd like to piss Ken off by showing him what I'm having for dinner.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
That's not cool, man.
Do they even have those in Atlanta, Matt?
I don't think so. You may have just pissed me off too, Glenn. So well done.
I mean, dude, that's not right, man.
Every time I go to In-N-Out, Ken curses me if I'm in the drive-through. And so tonight, Mama said, I'm going to run down to In-N-Out. What do you think? I said, yeah, baby.
That'll be perfect.
Hilarious.
Dude, that's not right, man. We don't have them in Ohio for sure.
Hey, I want to be respectful of
really
Matt's time,
bizarre.
so let's just do a few more questions. When he's ready to hit the road, then
Yeah,
then we're
Matt,
good.
whenever you want to bounce, just let us know. You got to wrap up.
There's no formality to what we do
Yeah.
at all.
I do like. Go ahead, Matt. What were you saying?
Oh, no, I see here. How long does it take to learn a script for one episode, and how long does it take to shoot one episode? It takes, this is actually, I think, will surprise a lot of people. It takes about 8 or 9 days to film an episode, and that's just the filming. So then you have the pre-production aspect of writing the scripts and coming up with those ideas. Then you have the 8 to 9 days of filming, and then you have the post-production, which is the editing and the sound and everything like that. So for one episode, you're talking 9+ days easy. So I think that surprises quite a bit of people in terms of when you say that.
Oh my God, dude! Look, watch this. Hey, Matt, watch. Where did Glenn go?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
He loves it when I do that. He just loves it.
That's how he disciplines me. Hey, but Matt, I got down to my playing weight because I'm going back to Atlanta. I'm flying back on Tuesday morning to do the final scene. I've read the script. I can't talk about it, but I'm headed back to do Ozark. And I'm only
I was watching Ozark when you texted me because
Yeah.
as you know,
So
I
what are
started
you
it because
what are you thinking, and what season are you in now?
season 3, episode 3. So since you
Oh
got the
wow.
job is when I first started, um, watching it. So watching
It's
it to
pretty
get ready
bad.
for
It's
your
pretty
for your
badass,
season.
huh?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
badass. So I'll
crazy.
I'll be shaving my beard off, and just shooting one day. So I am done, and that's now past tense in the rearview mirror. As of when am I shooting? I'm shooting on Wednesday, so I will be in
Wow.
Atlanta to watch Tuesday night's show. So I'm excited. Keno, a couple more questions.
Well, right now everybody's throwing rocks at you for showing that In-N-Out burger. I should
Oh, are
put all
they?
those up. Yeah, my wife, you were talking earlier about how the audience doesn't really need to know, just, they need, and she said, I never think like that. I'm just totally drawn in. But I've been in Glenn's acting classes just to observe many, many, many times. And so I see the technical side of it a lot. So now it doesn't like I can watch a movie. Glenn's introduced me to a couple of other big stars like John Schneider and Brad Leland, and so I'll watch them and things, and I'm like, and now I see technical things. I see phone scenes, and I've watched Glenn teach the phone stuff so much that I'm like, you're doing phone wrong. What are you doing? I'm sitting there like
We
That's
call
funny.
it giving good phone.
Yeah.
Not every actor knows how to give good phone.
it's interesting though when you see it's just and it's all
Well, yeah,
new
that
again.
even Ken on the phone thing, just to bring that up, is interesting because on the other side of the line, the phone call, I'll be talking to somebody who's there on set, but I won't be talking to the actual character,
Yeah.
right? So, that's just a challenging thing to do to
Oh yeah.
have those lines read, that you're not having that interaction with the character on the other side of the phone. So that's just one example of something that as again, as an audience member, you shouldn't have to think about that, but you'll know if it feels a little bit off for some reason.
Right. So here's the helpful hint that I offer actors on that is a script supervisor, and that's the person that will be reading the off-camera dialogue, so that if I have a conversation with Matt, I don't actually listen to the script supervisor. I mean, I hear the words,
Mm.
but I imagine how Matt, meaning Conrad, how Conrad would have said it. Because when you think about it, when it's cut together, my energy cannot be the energy that was in response to the script supervisor. My energy has to be the energy that was in response to Conrad.
Mm.
So, what helps that is to imagine how Matt, as an actor, would have said that, or how he would have asked me that question. And if I answer it back to Matt instead of to the script supervisor, the editor wants to give me a kiss on my cheek because the editor goes, that lines up, right?
Wow.
It's a trick, but it really, really works.
and
What are
and
some other
again,
questions, bud?
people don't, I mean, the audience never ever 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 considers any of this. None. I
Well,
never
Matt's
did.
right. It's not their job.
No, I know, but it's just it's really interesting when you dig into the technical side of it.
Listen,
It's like, wow.
Ken, I'm
Don't
going to
get
lean off camera to take
Thank
my
you.
first bite because
Yes.
for you, I think this is like watching someone have sex.
It's dude, like look at that, Matt. He's gone again.
uh,
Does Matt
um,
have another
I
question
see a
here?
question here. Yes, I see if Logan Huntsberger, Kariagos, and Conrad Hawkins met, do you think they'd get on with each other? Yeah, I do. I do. I think they were um, each of those characters kind of uh, went after things in different ways, but I do feel like they would all, if they were all in a room together, which is an interesting question. I do feel like they would all get along. Yes.
Now, this is a good question because, I didn't know that there was so much I would have imagined prior to knowing that, the whole staff that's on the show for the season shows up, everybody stays in place until the season's finished being filmed. And although in theory that would, but that's not the way that it works at all. Like, people come in and out, and like Glenn, it's, travels back and forth and to shoot certain scenes and whatnot. And what Ernest is asking here is, how does the cast spend their off time? Does, people that are staying in Atlanta, for example, do you guys get together, hang out, chit chat, or just, yeah?
Yeah, I see Ernest's question there. I mean, for me, uh, it's I have very, very little time to do anything else other than the show. It's when you're talking
Wow.
about 23 episodes, you're talking about 9 months. Going back to that other question of how long does it take to shoot one episode, 8 to 9 days. How long does it take to shoot about 22, 23 episodes? You're talking about 9 months, and they just come one after another. So today, Saturday, I put in a 12-hour day. Tomorrow, I'll put in a 6-hour day. So I am constantly working on material. It's just the only way I can try to get to the level that I need to get to. When you're on set, for me, it kind of just depends. For episode 3 again, that was such a heavy emotional episode for me. I asked actually for my chair to just be in a separate room to
I
feel
remember
that
that.
kind of, yeah, that separation and that loneliness and kind of just what
Wow.
I had to go through to get to the places necessary to do that episode. So that was a very solitary episode for me. But usually when we're on set, again, it depends on the nature of the scenes. If it's a relatively quote easy scene for me, then I think we're all kind of hanging out on set and having a good
And
time and
telling
talking. But
jokes
if
en route to the set.
in telling jokes and keeping it light and just enjoying each other's company, or sometimes, depending on how difficult the scene is, we're running lines right beforehand because of the nature of the scene. So it really, for me, is dictated by what the workday is or what a specific scene is in terms of on set. And then in terms of offset, yeah, of course, I've spent time with Glenn, I've spent time with Malcolm, I've spent time with Bruce, I've spent time with Manisha, spent time with everybody, but the
Yeah.
time is very, very rare. Truly, I just, in terms of the amount of material and the time it takes to get these episodes to where I feel they're in the right place, it just takes everything I've got. And so I have very limited time to even see my mother,
And
let alone
that,
else.
again, that is a huge kudos. I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years, and people, and you guys both get this. Like, when you get to a certain level in life, like, especially if you own a business, you're an entrepreneur, an
Did you just
actor.
say you'd bbeen standing in manure for 30 years? What?
30 plus, yeah. And so but people think that it's easy, and that you
Mm.
have this, this vacation lifestyle. Robin Leach shows up every day in your life, and that's just not the case. It takes a lot of work, and you guys are both, I mean, you're entrepreneurs, you're business owners. This isn't like, if you don't know you don't do the work, they're going to fire you. I mean,
No, it's a
it's that
great point.
simple.
It's a great point, Ken, for everybody, and also I think that the unique thing too, whether it be an actor or an athlete, you're kind of seeing. I compare the two because you're kind of seeing a finished product. You're seeing
Yeah.
you're seeing game day, but
Yep.
like Eminem talks about, getting in the lab, which was his room or wherever he was at the time, and writing those lyrics in the time of grinding to make his way up. Behind the scenes, you're not seeing the hours that actors are putting in terms of the preparation, in terms of for athletes, you're not seeing the workouts, the training, the how many shots they take, how many shots they miss.
Yeah.
You're seeing a finished product, so it looks a little bit glossier when you're talking about an athlete or an actor or something like that. But behind the scenes, for those individuals who are successful, who are entrepreneurs. Whatever profession you're in, it just takes a lot of hard work to get to the place that you want to be. You know.
And the discipline part. Like if you're not disciplined, I mean, you could go screw off and hang out with Glenn or Malcolm or whoever and not do the work, and it would suffer as a result. And
Sure.
that's
Yeah,
what.
they to be clear though, Ken, they don't fire you. They just ask you to be a former employee. I just want to clarify how they operate.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's incredible. So, I again, I've known Glenn now for about a year and a half or so, and just to see the discipline that you guys self-impose. It's not like, anybody's beating you over the head saying, "Hey, get back to work." You come home, like Glenn said, you may take a shower, get a bite to eat, but then you're back at it, getting ready for tomorrow. It's pretty incredible.
Well,
So,
Yeah, and that discipline for me, and I'm sure Glenn will say the same, comes from our responsibility is to the audience, is to the work, and it's to the fans. So anybody who's been watching this, who's seen The Resident or Gilmore Girls or The Good Wife or any of Glenn's stuff, thank you so much for watching and sitting down and spending your time watching those shows. And that's the reason I put in all those hours, is because I want to do justice to the material, the story, the characters for the audience.
that's awesome.
I'm just cheering you on for what you just said, dude. That's so true. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
You're
that's
being of service. By the way,
Whoop.
I got a reach out from an employer. I'm not going to say who it was, but they just wanted to make sure that I play everything close to the vest, or we will have your head. It was a little bit threatening, from a series I once did, and I didn't think that their notification of that was very subtle. And I'm going to show you what they sent me, Matt. Um, they shipped this too. They said if you don't start doing things our way, we will have your head. And
oh.
and they sent me my head in a case, and I just thought that was like, wow, man, you could
Yeah.
have just said behave yourself, you
Oh,
know.
Wow. You got a sign there, huh?
oh, that's funny.
An offer you couldn't refuse, huh?
Hey,
Right.
read Alan
Wow.
Skidmore's comment. This is my brother from another mother, Alan Skidmore from West Virginia. He says,
Penny and
wow,
I just
Penny and I
finished
just
watching.
finished watching this past week's episode. It is our favorite series. Congrats on such a quality show and having such a great cast.
Wow.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Alan.
Thank you,
That's
Alan. Yes,
awesome.
thank you for checking it out, and I hope you'll keep liking the episodes that we put out.
Look
Yeah,
at
I think
this.
you will. Hopefully, you will need a lot of tissues for Tuesday's episode.
Uh,
I hope that that's the case. If not, then we didn't get it right.
Sophie also asked you this question, Matt. She said, what is your favorite set? What has your favorite set to work on been?
There each of the sets I've worked on have been very different, and have been thankful enough to get great friends from each. But certainly the vibe that we have on the Resident, as you know, Glenn, is very unique and it's very special. And the connections there and the collaboration there and what we've built has been, yeah, for me, it's been my favorite experience in terms of um, those connections. I really did love going back for that the Gilmore Girls reboot. That was a unique thing because it was 9 years after we finished the show, and the fans had kind of wanted a movie or some sort of additional piece to the puzzle, and it felt like the right time. And that kind of felt like we never thought we were going to do it again. It was kind of like having another shot at going back to college again. So that was a really unique experience. So that was amazing as well. But in terms of we're 5 seasons in and 70 plus episodes, and all the things, you experience life. I've experienced 5 years of my life here on this show, and you go through everything with your cast members in terms of difficulties of good things and bad things that happen over some 5 years. We've been through a pandemic together. We're still going through a pandemic together as just one example. So a lot of life
You
happens on
broke
these
your
sets.
leg on the show.
No, 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 no. That we don't know. No one knows about that. No one knows about that.
Oh, you didn't even break your leg on the show, is what I meant to say.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Moving swiftly on. Yes, a lot of life happens on the show and shows, and the Resident is very special for me in terms of 5 years, in terms of it being that long. I'd say that's very special to me,
But we all
and
broke our leg,
yeah,
Matt. We all broke our leg,
exactly,
right? We say it
exactly.
to each other every week. Hey, break a leg, dude.
Break your leg. Go break your leg. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I said that to my daughter. She was on her way out to go to dance, and she goes, "Well, that wouldn't be very helpful, now would it?"
She's not wrong.
Hey,
Probably
Ken,
would
let's
be,
give Matt like 2 more questions and then let him go return to Ozark because it is Saturday night. And I know he tries to at least maintain a schedule so that he
yeah.
can stay in that rhythm of when he goes to bed and so forth. Are you
Okay.
working on Monday, bud?
Yes.
Yeah. I have a question for you. My question is, do you have a favorite football team in the NFL? Do you pull for any team in particular?
Pittsburgh.
I grew up in Tennessee, and so I was a Peyton Manning fan. So since Peyton Manning is retired, I kind of bounce around a little bit.
Are
So
you a Titans fan at all or no?
no, I was just a Peyton Manning fan. Just saw him play in college. I went to the College of Charleston, but we didn't have a football team, so I would drive down and watch football games at the University of Tennessee when Peyton Manning was playing. So since he retired, I kind of now bounce around a little bit. So I don't have a favorite football team.
So I want to describe an erotic sports experience for you. And
Oh
you tell me if this wets your whistle. Okay. So it's not a joke. I really mean this. So imagine flying to Dallas where I pick you up. We don't send a car. I come pick you up and we go straight to the stadium where we are admitted before the fans, where we go through the media entrance together and we walk down onto the playing field. It is about 5 to 10 minutes after we get onto the playing field that they begin letting people in. And we look up as the stadium begins to fill from being empty. Then the players come out, and we are standing right next to them as I introduce you to my buddy Brad Sham, who has been the voice of the Dallas Cowboys for more than 40 years. He calls the games play by play. We hang out down there, we watch, and about 30 minutes before game time, we go into the press elevator. We go up to the press box where we have a beautifully catered lunch or dinner, depending on the time of day the game is. And I'm talking top shelf stuff. I'm not talking hot dogs. And now we walk from there into Brad's booth where we sit about 6 feet away from my buddy. So I got you, my buddy, to my right, Brad, my buddy, to my left, and we watch the game while we watch my buddy Brad call the game. How does that
Sounds terrible. Sounds terrible.
Sounds deeply upsetting, doesn't it?
It is.
All right. Well, when you're
terrible.
ready to have that experience, and I don't expect it to be during the season, but maybe during off season or something. But you would you know what, you would love it even if you weren't a football fan, because it's fascinating to watch someone do
Oh,
the
yes.
radio. You talk about a talent, dude. They have to, if you think about it, radio commentary for a sporting event is so much more of a talent because they have to create the images through their excitement that the people cannot see. When you're doing color commentary, they have the game right in front of them to watch. But on radio, when you're driving, the announcer has got to paint the images in your mind with their level of emotional participation. So I've had Brad come speak to our acting group numerous times, and it's truly, truly incredible.
Brad's awesome.
Oh my
He's
God.
been
Let's
on.
give,
He's been on with us.
we'll do it at some point, bud. You want to give Matt a closing question for the night?
Yeah, well, my niece has asked this, I think, a couple of times. I don't even know what it means. Are you Team Logan or Team Jess? I don't even know. What's that mean? I don't know what that means.
Logan Huntsberger is a character I played on Gilmore Girls, and Jess was another character on that. And so there's always been kind of, well, how I answer that question is just who's right for Rory. And I kind of always felt like, and why I liked the ending of what we did with the reboot is that it's Gilmore Girls. It's about the two girls together. So for me, Alexis, Alexis Bledel, who played Rory, um, you know, she should be by herself. And I think it's her and her mom. So that's always the answer that I feel, because it's the Gilmore Girls. It's not about Logan or Jess or Dean or any of the guys. It's about that mother-daughter relationship is the heart of the show.
Wow.
That's
Dude,
beautiful.
you go so deep on your answers. It's incredible.
And you know what's beautiful? Matt's done all the big talk shows, but the Colbert budget is bigger when Matt comes to town. I mean, they fly him in, they put him up in the hotel. Our budget here is like a Starbucks gift card. When I see him on
Two
set
of them.
in a
We'll
couple
give
of
him
weeks,
two.
whenever I come back, I'll give him a Starbucks. It makes him very happy.
I don't know.
We have like, dude, you really kind of screwed up the whole show when you brought out the In and Out. I'm just being real.
That's all right. Hey, Matt, bud, I wish you the very best. I will holler at you on Tuesday. My thoughts are with all of us as I watch that night. I will have just finished Ozark. So I will be going straight from set back to my hotel and then watching the show from my hotel room up in Buckhead. And I'm just looking forward to sharing that experience with you. And you have blessed all of us, obviously with the show, but more importantly, I consider myself fortunate for you to have been able to bless me with your humanity. And tonight, people got a chance to get a glimpse of why it is that others think so highly of you. So thank you for taking the time to come be with us, and especially with it being a last minute invitation. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No,
thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Ken. Thank you guys for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. And to everybody who is checking us out, again, thank you so much for watching the shows. And, that's why we do what we do. So I'm grateful to have been invited tonight, and I hope people have some fun.
Hey, I look forward to
apologize for my white background and my
You're good,
my
man.
hat backwards, but
that's what happens on a low budget.
This is a genuine.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Hang out long enough to see our closing video. We have a really cool video that we have for the show. Guys, we want to thank all of you for spending a Saturday evening with us. Ken, any meaningful closing words?
Hey, I want to say thank you to Matt, and I look forward to. I'll come to Atlanta and buy you dinner in between at some point, and flip you a Starbucks card. No, but I look forward to meeting you. And man, your heart, from my perspective, your heart is man, it's just pure, and it shines through in everything that you say. And this was unrehearsed, all of it. So it was beautiful having you on. Thank you.
And really, Ken, more important than all of this, including Matt, as much as I love him, even more important than Matt and the show, I cannot tell you how grateful I am that you're out of the hospital.
Thank you.
I cannot begin to describe, because I know it was real touch and go, and scary. And it's been, what have you been, 46 days now or something?
Yeah, 46. I still can't breathe for shit, but you know, it's getting there. It's getting there. So
Well,
yeah.
just know that our loving arms
you.
are wrapped around you, and I'm just to be able to do the show again is so beautiful. So take it easy.
Yeah.
Let Matt enjoy our outro music, and
Will do.
Bud, I'll call you after the show. I love you dearly.
Thank you guys. Stay on here with
Thank
us,
you,
Matt.
guys.
And we'll see you guys later. Thank you to everyone who shared it out. If you have not shared this out, you can redeem yourself right now and share it out. So thank you, and we'll see you guys later.
And Matt, after the intro, we're just going to say goodbye to you privately. So
just hang on with us.
Here's our video. Good night, you guys. Have a great weekend. And Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox Television.